And when we're done, we'll move this out of the way so Mark can get a picture of all of you and then trophies individually. Hey, everybody, I'm Steve Owens, your tournament director for the NEWPORT Bassmaster KAYAK Series presented by NATIVE Watercraft. We're out here this week. Our anglers have come to Lake Havasu, Arizona. We're headquartered at the Lake Havasu State Park, and we want to give a huge thank you to those men and women that work here. They've done everything we've asked to provide this wonderful facility. And if over here you can't see it because I staged this wrong, it's one of the best sunsets you're ever going to see is here in Arizona. Want to give another thank you to the park people here. This area is a $20 parking fee. So all 111 people would have had to pay $20 here, but they let us negotiate the $3 that was added to your entry fee. We made about a $400 donation to the Parks Department here, and they said to give you all a thanks for that. And if you're anywhere on this lake, every launch area is just, really, really good and well maintained. So we thank them for taking care of that out here in Arizona. Like to thank Mark Cisneros this weekend for getting out and hitting the click button on his camera and putting all y'all all over the website. A huge thank you for Dakota Lithium coming back as our Angler of the Year sponsor, and as well as TourneyX, our management system. Just like to take a quick second to pray for everybody's trip back home. And if you're not a prayerful person, just please have a moment of silence for someone. Father, we thank you for our safety. We thank you for this weekend and the integrity of these men and women out here. This event went very smoothly, very top shelf as far as safety goes. I ask that you continue to be with our men and women fighting the fires in California and across the country with the severe cold weather that's coming. We just pray for those that don't have and that they have shelter to seek. And ask that you minister to all our hearts, Lord, and help us with anything we need physically, mentally, or spiritually, Lord. Thank you for this tournament series. Thank you for these people, and thank you for letting us do what we do here in this nation. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. As I mentioned, we had 111 men and women in this event, and they came from 20 different states as well as Canada. We were cutting up at Locos the other night for dinner. California had 41 come. Arizona had 30. We had Utah, Nebraska, Kansas, Kentucky, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Ohio. We had 2 guys fly in there. So people drove for this tournament, Texas, and we appreciate that. As we mentioned, we're reestablishing a community out here for Bassmaster with the men and women, and just looking forward to growing it and working with everyone that helps organize tournaments out here in this region. We appreciate all of you reaching out over the years that we've tried to get this, handled, and couldn't have done that without you all, because I rely on the communication from you guys and gals to meet these chamber people and sponsors and hosts, because as we travel, it's hard to know everybody. So we truly couldn't do this in the kayak sport without all of y'all. Number one, showing up for the events, but as I just mentioned, helping us find these contacts to get to places like Go Lake Havasu brought us out here to. Anglers are competing for 5 spots in our Bassmaster KAYAK Series championship, as well as a prize pool for $22,000. The Dakota Lithium Angler of the Year is based off of your top 3 events, and they'll take home $5,000, like Russ Snyder's has done in back-to-back years. And Drew Gregory won our first Angler of the Year some years ago with a different sponsor. So we'd also, again, like to thank everybody from traveling across the country through the conditions that you all met, and Go Lake Havasu for what they've done and given us this area here. The London Bridge was something spectacular. Just to be flat honest with you, I thought that was just a gimmick advertising thing until we actually got here and realized that's really the London Bridge, full of bullet holes and everything. So a gentleman purchased it and numbered every stone and brought it over to California and transported it here and put it back together. And so it's actually, I've got to travel a lot doing this, and that was one of the coolest architectural things I think I've gotten to see. So this year, as I mentioned, leading into this, our title sponsors, Newport Motors, presented by NATIVE Watercraft, Dakota Lithium, and TourneyX are back again. One thing about those brands I just mentioned is their commitment to the angler and the consumer. whether you're in a tournament fishing setting or, you know, recreation or just anything else, you know, there's something there for you. And if you ever have any problems, you know, typically your local shop is the first stop, and if they can't help you, then their mainframe customer service steps in, and that's several companies that are top shelf when it comes to that. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the business here and let these people know what they won, and let you all hear how they won it. Going to bring up first, we had a tie for big bass with a 21 3/4 inch between Kong Yang and Chris Cabral. Kong Yang had a 19 1/2. It's on the $500 and his trophy and check. If you don't mind him up, Kong. That first one's yours, and that's your check. All right. Yeah, it's going to be kind of, you can do what you need to do. Come on up here and just talk about that fish specifically, and you know, come on over here and let you say whatever you want to say, man.
Well, I caught that fish about 9 o'clock this morning on a drop shot, easy shiner. That was it.
All right, thank you. See you in a little bit. All right, congratulations. All right, in 11th place, taking home $750, Reed Frazier, the 117 1/4 inches. There you go, buddy. All right, Reed, good job, man. Good meeting you.
Yeah, I drove down here from Napa, California, and had a rough pre-fish like a lot of people. Launched all over the main lake and couldn't get anything on a drop shot, and just fishing fast. If they were going to bite, they bit it right away. And yeah, that's basically how it went for me. And just want to thank Bass for coming out west and putting on a great event, and hope to fish more in the future.
Well, we appreciate you very much. Thank you for coming. All right, we actually had a tie for 10th place as well as Big Bass, but the man that lost Big Bass actually won 10th place with his 21 3/4 inches. So it wasn't all for naught. Taking home $800, Chris Cabral, 117 1/4 inches. Not gonna lie, you thought you were like, oh, wasn't you?
I tried.
Good job, man. Talk about your week out here.
Well, I'm from SoCal, and I drive a truck, and actually it was all that wind caused all those fires. I was in that stuff, and then coming out here, seeing more wind, like I was tired of the wind. But anyway, but it was good. That was a good time out here. Had a good bunch of roommates out here and root me on after I finished in 3rd place on first day. So it was good, but all my fish are caught on drop shot, MM3, pretty much. And then the spot that I was fishing at was at the mouth of the river, and the water kept on dropping, and I lost all the rest of the fish. They were all gone. And I found my other fish hanging out on trees on live scope. So it was a good deal, but I appreciate everything, and thank you for putting on a great show. And we'll be back at it next year.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Good meeting.
You too.
All right, in 9th place, taking home $850, Brandon Smith with 122 1/2 inches. Brandon, appreciate you coming out. We'll let you have the floor and talk about how your event went for you, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm from Indio, California. I came out here on Friday, just had a afternoon or morning of pre-fish, checked one spot that I thought I wanted to go. I was able to catch a couple fish there on Saturday, throwing a crank, and then today that turned off and didn't catch any fish. Came back to Mesquite and caught 4 fish in about an hour, throwing a 5XD over some cages, and they were all good ones. So it moved me way up. Only 7 bites, but they were good ones.
Got anybody you want to thank? Got any local clubs you fish around here?
No local clubs. This is the first tournament I fished in the last probably 2 years and just doing family and work. So I'd like to thank my wife and my kids for letting me come out here.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Check a check. Chris, you take Chris this if you don't mind. All right, in 8th place, taking home $900 with 129.5 inches, Adam DeWitt. Adam. All right. Coming up here shivering in his Cornhusker shirt. I see it. Good job, man. Appreciate you, brother. There's your check.
I think I've been down here since Saturday, but the wind made it hard to pre-fish. I mean, yesterday I had a good day. Today was rough. My best friend's here. His parents are here. I've been staying with them this whole week, so that's been good. That's about it.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to meet you. Appreciate it. Take a check. All right, in 7th place, taking home $1,000 with 132 inches, Daniel Balaba. Appreciate you, Matt. You go ahead and talk about how you got it done.
Yeah, how you doing? I just want to start off by saying thank you to Bassmaster for throwing this event. Really appreciate it, and all its event staff. My wife, she's like, it's the biggest thank you. I drug her out here, and she is like bored out of her mind. Thanks, bud. How I did it, I fished the river. I had a terrible pre-fish like Thursday. And Friday, fished the river, got bit, didn't think anything of it, and, kind of figured something out with some finesse. Had a good time.
Man, we appreciate you. We already think the most important thing here. You got anybody else?
Not really.
Okay. All right, well, we appreciate you. Good be safe getting home. I was trying to say. All right, in 6th place, taking home $1,200 because of that big bass, 148.5 Kong Yang. Kong, there's another check, and we're going to expect you to talk just a little bit more about this one.
All right. I got it on Wednesday night, pre-fish, and Friday. Didn't get a single bite. Launched out of cattail. Went back over there for tournament. First day, just got lucky enough to get 5 small fish, and then today came up a little bit more. And then that was my my fishing. Just want to say thank you to Bass, Steve, and all the guys for just wonderful event. And also my wife and kids. Thank you for letting me come out. And
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kong's got a Toyota hat on, and it just reminded me, as part of this series, you are eligible for the Toyota incentive program. And something we were working with GoPro, and Drew Gregory runs that staff part of it. Anglers are going to have until Tuesday after every event to upload their GoPro footage to our Dropbox. And from that Dropbox, we asked that be a 60-second clip. Ideally, it would be good for you to close your clip out with an edited picture of your biggest fish on your stringer. And then we'll go through that and pick out the biggest fish submission through that 60-second clip. If you can do it in a 30-second one, that's great. But 60-second will be fine. But we appreciate GoPro reaching out and offering that as the start of their partnership into the kayaking. They already work with Bassmaster, just like Toyota, like I said. But this is something that because of the the unity we have in our sport that go from in through what Drew and all them do in the KAYK series, Kayak Adventure Series that he runs. And so to that note, our trails need support across the country. It's easy to get flippant about something happen and not continue to fishing, but the grassroots stuff we have. Bass Nation is growing, but there's still things there that people have worked through, and as well as these upper level series, if you want to call them that. But just continue to communicate and reach out to all of us, and we'll help you find something to fish somewhere, even if it's not tournament related. So getting back to this, in fifth place, taking home $1,700 with 153 inches, John Turner. John, man, it's been good to meet you. I'll let you talk about what went on out here.
I'm from Yuma, just downriver, so I'm pretty familiar with Havasu. This is the lowest I've ever seen the lake myself and the river itself.
That's what happens when I book tournaments.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty bad when you hit sandbar with the kayak. I hit a few, but I primarily fished upriver. Fished a little bit out in the current some, and then mainly pitching to the deeper pockets and tulies, and was lucky enough to get some bites. But thank you, and thank you for taking my calls yesterday. Yeah, that was good. But thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. All right, Mark was actually tied for third. So take home $2,500 with 158 inches. Had an 18 and a quarter inch highbreaker fish. JJ Gibbs. He not here. Let me read through my my judge sent me a message earlier. Bear with me, I have to log in. No, JJ, you actually had the 18 and a quarter. Yeah. JJ Gibbs.
So does the big fish mean you lose? He had 18 and a quarter, I had 18.
No, I have your stringer pulled up here if you want to walk up.
I had an 18 and a quarter. I should have been in front of his 18. That's
Who are
the
you?
tiebreaker. I'm JJ.
That's what I just said. You're third place.
What about fourth?
Mark Kyle.
Well, there you go.
You're in. I'm here. You
I'm sorry. I skipped fourth. I apologize, y'all.
That happens to me a lot.
Jeez.
I always get skipped.
Oh, wow. Not that you don't matter, but now that you're up here, I apologize for that. All right. I'm going to find something to blame it on. See how that scrolls up? Now it's stopped. That's what it is. So, all right. All right. Sorry about that, guys, but I appreciate you getting that right. So, well, now that we're going to know who finished third in a minute, but now we've got Mark up here taking home $2,000, 158 inches. You tied and you lost. We figured that out. So, we'll let you talk about your week.
Okay, it was a fun week. I got to hang out with JJ.
Yeah.
And I fished down south. I went the opposite direction of these other guys, but I was doing the same thing. I was flipping tubes pretty shallow. And like the other guy said, as soon as it would hit the water, they were on. So it was pretty fun. I actually had one tube land on top of some laid over tulies, and a fish
hit it on the fall.
They were hitting it instantly on the fall. But I got on top of the tulies one cast, and a bass came up out and blew up on it. So you don't see too many topwater bites this time of year. Yeah. But it was pretty fun. And that's pretty much what I did. I thank my wife for coming. She came and supported me here. And it was a lot of fun. And Steve, I thank you for coming. And Bassmaster, it sure is nice not to have to drive too far. It's only about 4.5 hours for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about it is I actually am grateful I got to drive this far. So we got to come here. So
yeah,
I appreciate all that. It's not lost on the sacrifice that y'all made to do this.
We got a lot of good lakes out west. Just saying.
That's I'm getting that education of it. Like I mentioned,
yep.
Meeting the sponsor host is because of you all, and you all educate me on the lakes too. You know.
Yeah. Well, I like Roosevelt. I'm just saying.
But I got all kinds of notes in my pockets with lakes on them. Roosevelt, Clear Lake Delta. So we'll find something. I
okay.
promise you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good to meet you. All right, in third place because of an 18 1/4 inch tiebreaker, taking home $2,500. Gibbs. Get your driver's license on you. Man, I'll let you talk about your week. Don't forget your trophy.
All right. Thank you. I just like to first thank Bass for making the trek out. Us West Coast guys kind of get forgotten about every once in a while. I live here. I didn't have a kayak 3 weeks ago. Mark and I are really good friends. Just put a boat together pretty quick. Practiced Thursday, Friday. I went up the river, made the trek from here. Worst water conditions I've seen in probably the last 20 years. Super low, like John said, just super, super low. I caught all my fish throwing reaction baits in the morning, and then I went flipping. Reaction bait was definitely better, and then flipped as the sun got up for the rest of the day. But thank my family for being here. And once again, Bass, thank you guys.
Is your boy?
Yeah.
Hey, come up. Come up, let him carry your trophy.
Thank you.
You can keep that one, and I'll send Mom the $2,500. Thank you, guys. All right. In second place with 163 inches, taking home $3,000, Cayman Rasmussen. So as I mentioned earlier, the top 5 from this event make it to the Bassmaster Championship next year, held in conjunction with the Bassmaster Classic. So, John Turner, Mark Kyle, J.J. Gibbs, and Cayman here have qualified as well as the winner here. So going to let you get into what it took to get you up here today to take home that blue trophy.
Well, man, it's been a week. I've been here for 6 days. Or pre-fished for 6 days. Been here since last Saturday anyways. And it started off good. I caught a limit most days. The pattern was pretty prominent one way, and it's power fishing shallow. Main lake structure mainly. Ended up for the tournament down south, picked an area, the only area of the lake that I found that had bait, and was throwing jerk bait, chatterbait, and a swim bait anyways. But just moving until you found a fish that wanted to eat. But yeah, it's been a week with truck issues and everything, so it's glad to make some money and maybe put it back into the truck anyways. But shout out to Bassmaster coming out west, Newport. My Newport made it super easy to travel around the lake for 6 days. I mean, covering probably 10-12 miles a day and just trying to find fish anyways. And thank you to family and friends back home. My wife especially for letting me come out and do these things, and I think that wraps it up.
Well, man, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. down to the end of it with 165.25 inches of fish from Ohio, taking home $7,000, Drew Gregory. Yeah. Good job, man. You know what that looks like? That's yours. You want to go ahead and drag it over? Yeah, man. Yeah, Drew, we appreciate you. We spoke, I was on your podcast several weeks ago, and you had mentioned, the idea of your wife possibly let you out of the house for a hall pass for this one, just to get out here and experience it. Didn't have a lot of expectations because you've never been on this body of water, I assume, and you came out and like we talked about, the wind was awful out here for a lot of people's practice, which you didn't get a lot of. It shows your trip getting here took a lot of the community to piece that together. There's other people here that share a similar story of us doing a hodgepodge of donated rods, reels, motors, things like that. So we appreciate all of y'all's effort to make sure everybody that could get here. So I'll let you have the floor and just talk about how it went.
Yeah, so I have no idea where to begin, but I'll try to keep this brief. First of all, I'm looking at all these anglers and just this event, and I just feel so just humbled, fortunate, blessed. I mean, I've obviously won before, and had some success, but you never know when it's, might be your last time. And every time you get up here and you go out, it's so freaking hard to win, dude. It's so hard to just catch 5 bass. You guys know what I'm talking about. And these are the best anglers in the country. So I'm always just shocked, like when it happens, so I'm in shock now. I mean, we flew out here, like you said, it was a challenge. I came out with Jake Cook here, my buddy. I just kind of made a post in the local, kayak fishing Northeast Ohio, the Kayak Anglers of Northeast Ohio group. I said, hey, in our Discord, anyone want to come with me? I think I'm going to be able to pull this off. My wife had a girls trip with her, with my mother-in-law. It was my mother-in-law's birthday. They were all supposed to go on a trip this weekend, and I was supposed to watch the kids, right? And I told my wife, I was like, what do you think about this? And she goes, that's my mother-in-law's trip weekend, so you're watching the kids. And then I was on the podcast, and somehow, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Aunt Gabi or Pam, whoever could not make those dates work for that girls trip. Thank you so much. Because my wife then was like, yeah, you can go do this. And, Frontier Airlines was having some good deals. So thanks to Frontier, we got to catch a red eye later. So we got to get rolling. But just this event, I got here with Jake. We flew in. I had one day on the water to practice, went on the river, typical, stuff that I do. And I found the ugliest stretch of river I could find, basically, so that because the Gorge River looks beautiful. I mean, it is beautiful, but it's kind of hard to find where the fish are when there's so much. I just wanted to find the most nondescript, ugliest piece of water, thinking I might have it to myself. And if there are bass there. And on the first day, our only day of practice, I guess, we drove around like a half day on, I guess it was Thursday. I floated down the whole section all the way from Needles all the way down, and I just was looking. The water's so clear, just looking. And I'm on the phone with Jake because he was doing something else that day. And all of a sudden, I was like, dude, huge school of smallmouth. I just rolled over some, like finally, because I hadn't really seen many fish. And I just kind of marked those, kept marking every fish I could. And first day of the tournament, I got 4 on the Z-Man Gobius out of that school. And that was kind of the secret bait for me, was that Z-Man Gobius. It looks so natural, like a river darter. And I had 8-pound spinning rod, just straight braid. And that was kind of what did most of it. But today was a huge, huge challenge because I actually ended up getting a 17 3/4 on the second cast. And obviously, am I going to be able to get the fish out of that school again? I wasn't sure, how many I could get out of there because I got 4 yesterday. And they would all chase to the kayak. I got GoPro footage that I sent you guys. There's like 6 or 7, 8 giants all chasing the one to the kayak. So the school kind of gets blown up fairly quick. I don't know how I got 4 out of there yesterday, but somehow I did. And I only got 1 today, so I had 2 fish and then kind of kept piecing it together where I'd seen some fish, the day before. And Jake actually rolled up next to me, and I hooked the winning – could have been the winning fish. He pulled out his camera and started filming it. And as soon as he did, a few seconds later, it popped off, and my heart just sunk because I don't have anything else really like to go back to. I just had that one area. So I went way upstream. Mark Cisneros and the crew, there he is. He caught up with me, and we stopped and did a little photo shoot. I was a little stressed, dude. You could tell, man. I was like, all right, we got to get some shots, but they just caught me motoring. I knew you wanted some shots of me actually making casts. So took about 10 minutes there, and I'm like so stressed. I need one more fish. I come back down, and after I let all my area rest for like 3 hours, hit that school again. They reset, and I got one to bite. And I'm bringing it in. It's like 2 o'clock, whatever, and it comes off. I lost another one, and I knew this is like possibly the winning fish. So then I just went to a little cut where there's a little backwater and some staying water where I'd caught some fish before, and in practice and pre-fishing. And I just went, like I do again, straight braid 30-pound test. I'm using some new rods, prototypes of a Signature Series rod by Yak Rods that I'm working with, Tandy and the whole crew at Yak Rods. Thank you guys so much. The rods, the prototypes are perfect. We're not changing a thing on the action. They are perfect. And I just went 30 pounds straight braid in some semi-stained water and milked the bottom of it, bottom of this little clay bank. And I felt a thump. And believe me, after losing those other two on a spinning rod, I set the hook so hard. I mean, this 14 and a quarter inch fish came out of the water at 3:11 p.m. And I wasn't sandbagging. For anyone thinks I was sandbagging, I just didn't have 5. And that's kind of how it all shook out. I broke down and started crying and called my wife on the way back and was thanking Jesus more than, like it probably ever have. Yeah, more than a normal day. And it was like just all the emotion came over me because I spent so long planning for this whole thing, flying out here. Joe McElroy drove my kayak out here. I had to meet him in Kentucky. It was a long story, but I'm sure I'll share it on podcast. Thank you so much, Joe. I could not have done this without you. And I mean, honestly, the kayak fishing community, all these people, that's why we do this. I think anyone here would have, if they had room on a trailer to bring a kayak for somebody that was flying, you'd probably do it. And that's why I love these people. I love you guys. So Joe, thanks so much. Jake, thanks so much for joining me and helping out, man. It was awesome to have you along. It would have been, not nearly as fun doing it by myself. So thank you so much, man. I'm glad that worked out for you. And I want to thank you, Steve. I mean, Bassmaster, you guys are amazing. And I'm still in shock, man. You guys do a great job, and I really appreciate everything you do. It's a lot of hard work, so it doesn't go unnoticed by all the anglers. And then, I was going to thank, I already thanked Joe and Jake, all the guys in the house. Thank you guys, man. You guys were awesome. All the West Coast guys that stay with, all the SoCal boys, Shane Lamont and everybody. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks to the Newport guys. I mean, this is the Newport Bassmaster Kayak Series, so I might be sponsored by Torquedo, and that helped me, do great here this weekend. But you guys cooked an amazing dinner for us the other night, and just the hospitality is incredible here out here on the West Coast, so we really appreciate it. And then I do want to thank Z-Man, obviously, for that Gobius bait. It was incredible, that cross-eyes power finesse jig with the Pro Cross trailer. That's what I caught that last fish on. It was just an incredible week here. Crescent Kayaks, that Crescent Kayak Shoaly that I designed was just tremendous. I'm going 7 miles an hour, on that thing, and that helped me. A lot of you guys were just joking that when I booked out of the ramp this morning, I mean, just left everybody in the dust. It was moving, but anyway, it's pretty muddy and shallow out ramp, so it's kind of tough for your kayaks, a little heavier. So, but Smith Optics, dude, that water is so clear. If you don't have good sunglasses, it's just, I mean, that's how I saw. I mean, even in practice, I was just floating down, looking at fish, just like I did on Lake Tenkiller when I won the championship. I'm up the river, just looking at fish. I'm not fishing, burning anything when it's that clear. I want to see them and mark where they're at. So I saw them, and lucky to get 5 today. And then, of course, thanks to GoPro. It's really cool. We're doing that partnership with GoPro, and you guys can submit footage and win a free GoPro for the best clip at each Bassmaster Kayak Series event. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I got 3 in the hopper already. I got some more today, Steve. So we'll see. I don't know if I can win or not, but I guess. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, it's definitely this is the most beautiful place I've been. It's unbelievable. I fished in Yuma, Arizona. Someone said they were from Yuma. That's kind of what sparked my interest in coming back here. I had one trip in about, like 8 or 9 years ago in Yuma with the guys from OEX when I was with Jackson Kayak, and flew out here with my boys, Brooks Beatty, Jameson Redding, and I fished the Colorado River in Yuma. And I'll never forget, there was Mark who said it, something about like those tules. Yeah, fishing the tules. And I was flipping a giant Z-Man 8-inch streaks and just letting it swirl. And giant fish would just come out, and it was like, I got to go back there. So when I saw this on the schedule and was able to make it work out, then I did. I really want to thank my parents. They got me into fishing. And they just have been praying for, nonstop. And Mom said she's already been praying, even when I told her what was going on this weekend. And she was like, no, we're already ahead of you. So thank you guys for all the support and getting me into fishing in the outdoors. And then my final thanks here is definitely to my wife and my kids. Hi, Theo. Hi, Sophia back home. Christina, I love you. She just sent me a text. She's still sick. She's got pink eye now. She's just been taking care of the household while I'm here. I could never do this without her, and I am just so blessed to have an amazing wife that just takes care of that kind of stuff for me, and it's awesome support. So I love you so much, and I love all you guys. Thanks for everything, guys. Sorry it took forever. I know. Sorry.
You win. You get to talk all you want. Thank you. All right, we'd mentioned the GoPro and Toyota partnership, but something else Bassmaster has is the Bassmaster Her initiative, and we'll get these photographs to them. But We obviously have had a growth in the sport with our female anglers, which we're very grateful for. So make sure to contact me this weekend. We had Rachel with a phenomenal, beautiful 20-inch smallmouth. Chelsea had a 20 and a half largemouth, I think. Tandy had some good footage and fish turned in. And so if I'm forgetting anybody else, I apologize, but we just, we all know one another out here. So don't forget to do that hashtag and the whole 9 yards whenever you share your stuff, if you don't mind. But that wraps this up. As you all know, this is our first event of the 2025 season. Very quickly, we're going to turn around and be on the Kissimmee Chain of Lakes in Kissimmee, Florida, hosted by Kissimmee Sports. You can find that link for registration on Bassmaster as well as the launch list. Go Lake Havasu. We appreciate you. We're blessed to be a part of this community this week. As I mentioned before, it's a great vibe, really relaxed, chill people. A lot of really good people have invited us all over the place just for dinners and things. Want to thank Bassmaster back home for the social media and the outreach. We all know Mark Cisneros has become all of one of us, and we appreciate the job that he does. Want to thank Newport Motors as our title sponsor, along with NATIVE Watercraft, Dakota Lithium, our Angler of the Year sponsor once again, and Tourney X, the best management system in the game. So appreciate everybody. Give yourselves a big round of applause, and we're going to stick around for some photographs.